Live from Miami, it's the hot, sweaty South Beach edition of Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the party in the city where the heat is on all night on the beach till the break of dawn. This is Elf resurrected once again. Joining me is
Dota.
That didn't sound very Miami, Dota.
I'm not in Miami. I'm too much of a stiff. Yeah.
Get your tropical shirt on and let's
I know.
go.
I should have let you go second because you're in Miami. You've got the vibe. I heard that it's been crazy down there.
It's been awesome.
Yes, it's kind of crazy. I mean, have to constantly rescue Elf from wanting to go inside and go to bed.
Okay, we're gonna get to Miami highlights here in a minute, but
God.
my first question is, where the hell is Cosmo? Because Cosmo's been with us the whole time too, and I want him to be up here.
I freaking love Cosmo so much.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
If you ever go to Miami, make sure you get a room for Cos next to you.
Yeah, it's because at the end of the night, Ubering to 5 different places is kind of annoying. But yeah, so we've got a big show today. I definitely want to go over some Miami highlights. I'm gonna bring Dr. Slurp on for a minute to talk about his event. I'm gonna bring Tad on and Mr. Brown. I think they want to join in a bit to talk about things they're up to, and then I also want to bring Legatus up to talk about the Black Sands pony racing because I have entered a pony into the race.
Ooh, fun!
Yeah.
Who's racing?
Well, there's like 50 ponies in the race, so.
No, I'm saying your pony. Who did you put in the race?
My pony's name is Will-O-the-Wisp the Marvelous, and it's a yellow Xanthus pony with a wizard hat and a pipe. It's the most ridiculous pony I could find, so that's why I wanted to enter him.
I've been so busy that I haven't done it, but now that you're in it, I feel like it's the only thing I want to do is enter so I can beat you.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Someone send me the pony with 6 legs. I'll return it.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how the mechanics work, or are we going to bring him up?
I'll bring Legatus up to talk more about it. But it's so cool. There's just so much detail in it. But yeah, well, whenever he's ready, he can join. In fact, any of the people I mentioned, Tad, Slurp, Legatus, and freaking Cosmo, wherever you are, just put in a request whenever you can.
Cos is probably taking a power nap.
He probably is. Oh, there's Tad right there. Tad, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Can you guys hear me?
We sure can.
Tad!
Hey, everybody, man, I'm so envious of everyone that got to go to Miami after seeing firsthand everything in New York. I know exactly how much fun everyone's having. So yeah, I'm satisfying myself by making massive amounts of animations right now because pixels are the only thing to satisfy me.
You're killing it lately. Yeah, you're going crazy with the animation.
Yeah, I went a little too far. I think it's because I have another big project I'm working on. So like in the off moments, I need to do something different. But I'm kind of like stimulated. So yeah, that last one flowed really well. It was super fun to put together.
And Mr. Brown has just joined us as well.
Hello.
Awesome.
Hello.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy
South Beach edition. So Tad and Mester, what did you guys want to talk about?
Well, I just kind of wanted to just talk in general, just about some cult involvement and some of the art that's going on within the community. I wanted to just first off, just kind of observing there's like a lot of really positive, good new energy that's come into the cult. A lot of people have joined up in the last month or two that have really kind of hit the ground running, and I think just in the last week, like Swan Lake jumped in and picked up a couple of really cool warrior and wizard. Shlee was the one that had me make that animation, and got a pony because they wanted to involve themselves in the pony races, and then of course Legatus has come in and started the Black Sand dueling grounds and the pony races as well. So just shout out to all the great cult content that's coming directly from the community. It's just super cool to see. It's definitely the thing that I'm the most excited to kind of note within this project is just the way that we hit that exponential curve of media and new stuff coming out is just more and more artists and more creators. So super cool to see. So I've been piddling around doing my animations and things. Selfless plug. I do have some time. I'm gonna try to start doing some more animated shorts, just some scenes to help build lore for characters. So if there's anything that anybody has in mind they want to create, feel free to send me a DM. We can talk. I charge way too little for what I do, so I'd be happy to help, make a lot more moving pieces to our book of lore. And then Maester Brown and I just started kind of chatting this week as a new a person that's kind of jumped in and started creating the miniature dolls and some of the other fun art that's been coming out. We were just chatting about some different things, and I found that he also had only just very recently started doing art creation, and his job is actually very, very similar to what I used to do, and just it's a very regimented, very exacting, detail-oriented job. So to have something that we can do that's kind of allowed us to have a creative outlet and to build and to grow in that way has been just super rewarding outside of everything else. So those were my biggest things. I just kind of wanted to get up here and thank everyone for the energy and then for the things that you're doing and for helping to encourage all of us creators to continue building. And then just wanted to give Maester Brown a moment just to introduce himself and kind of pop in. He's doing some really cool stuff, and I know the little plushies he's made have become like a quick cult favorite, but just wanted to give him an opportunity as a new member to say hey.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, I love the stuffies that you've been putting out. They're just really adorable. Oh.
Totally agree.
Thank you very much. It's been a great opportunity to really connect with people and be able to feel like some of the content that I'm making or a particular aspect of the content I'm making is really connecting with people. I've had a chance to talk with Tad and Legatus over the last week or two. Legatus a little further. It's interesting to find most of us, if I understand, are kind of new to all this, probably in about a year. We come from some other area and yet have a creative side that this particular cult and community has allowed us to expand and watch it grow like a wildfire or even a little magic spark sometimes. It's really cool. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I look forward to making more content for everybody and hopefully getting a doll in everybody's hand if they'd like one.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, Master Brown, I've been loving all the dolls that you made. They're so cute. Bear and I were talking, and Cosmo, we were talking last night just about how prolific the cult is. And it's just almost overwhelming at times. It's like you guys are making content far faster than we at Magic Machine can. And I was like, it's disturbing. And then I was like, but that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what you and Tad are doing and what Legatus is doing and so many other people, it's just so great.
Well, and I'm like so happy to see folks creating more and more things that are like that have mechanics, right? Like the pony racing and like so many others where Forgotten Punks and whatever. I won't name them all, but I think it's like really wonderful because as a team, we're not that big, and there's only so many projects that we can kind of like focus our efforts on. But there's just an unlimited number of ideas that can be done within the space, and so it's really fun to see other people create mechanics because that's really how it has to be, right? It's the collaborative legendarium means that like we're not the only ones creating things. That's built by everyone.
Yeah, Master, you have your hand up.
Hey, one more thing I wanted to add. I haven't been able to present it very well, but as you might look into like what's important about dolls, why do we want dolls? Dolls actually have a very long history in magic and rituals and certain behaviors and using for education and teaching. So
Yep.
I'm really grateful to see these dolls used in lores and activities and not just some PFP. To be honest, I love to see it grow.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. Actually, I want to touch on that for just a second. So, I mean, the original Wizard NFTs are essentially, an avatar for our own IRL personalities. But that's exactly what a doll is. That's what a toy is. It's like a simulation of a living being. And so you've gone like 2 layers deep into the meta by making dolls of dolls, essentially. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Dolls have a huge magical history. And they've got a place in the Runiverse for sure. Cool. Well, anything else, Tad and Mester?
Yeah. Hey, one other thing. Along the line of we've had like a handful of really new interested people hop in, and just shout out to all the people that are helping everyone get acquainted and kind of like up to speed on all of our different collections. And kind of in those conversations, it's come up again a few times about like, hey, is there a resource or a reference or a video that I could watch that would help me understand like what is the Great Burning, what are souls, what are all these different things. So just kind of tossing that out there again. It might be something that's worth trying to find a way to get some kind of cult created kind of legendarium or whatever of kind of the history of what's been going on so far, so people can get caught up. Because it's hard to see it since you've been in it since day one, but there's a whole lot of moving parts. So
No, you're absolutely right. The website needs a lot of work. We are in the process of redesigning it, believe it or not. And I have been promising to put more work into Wikipedia. After Miami, I should be able to do that. And yeah, I love the idea of more explainer videos. Honestly, if anybody wants to help with that, like DM one of us.
And
Yeah.
there's a few out there also, and I know that there can always be more, but we can do probably better job of surfacing the ones that exist. But yeah, we should probably be going deeper in that, so it's easier to understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, having something that takes it chronologically would also be super helpful, because then you can kind of like absorb it at the same pace and in the same timeline as people who've been here since minting. That's a great idea.
Okay, speaking of excellent cult projects, Legatus, welcome to Wizard Wednesday.
Thank you so much, and really, really glad to have a chance to talk to you guys today. Very excited.
Yeah, so Legatus, I absolutely love Black Sands pony racing. I didn't really fully understand it until after the first race was done, and then I saw all the statistics and the metrics that you tracked for every pony. Just everything was just so well done. And before you get started on talking about it, I actually have one question. So the project is called Black Sands Pony Racing. Are the Black Sands in the Runiverse? And if so, where do you think they are?
Also, yeah, I'm mute. Yeah, I accidentally muted you.
That's a great question, Elf, because actually I'd like to start by giving a quick intro of Black Sand to answer that question.
Great.
So actually Black Sand is a city in the Runiverse, but it is not on the map, as of course you know.
Right.
And that is almost given its history. In fact, Black Sand hasn't always been Black Sand. It once was, centuries ago, called Imperium. And historians know that Imperium used to be one of the most glorious, rich, and prosperous cities in the Runiverse, to the extent that a lot of wizards in the Runiverse will define it as a very beating heart of the Runiverse itself. However, suddenly, a catastrophic eruption, a volcanic eruption, burned the city to the ground, to basically nothingness. So from the glorious city that it was, nothing was left except Black Sand. And that's where the name comes from. So to answer your question, it is there, but it's not on the map anymore.
Interesting. Do you at least know like what region it's in though?
Yes. So the Black Sand itself is along the Salt Sea. So you will see on the east side of the Runiverse, and its location will be disclosed as we learn more about it. Its precise location.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. I love that you've got a whole meta lore behind it. And actually, let me ask you one more question. So, do the Black Sands perhaps is this like a really good surface to race ponies on? Is that why they race ponies there?
So they race pony there because of Black Sand is a good ground, but also the Black Sand Racing are one of the efforts that the Council of Mages, which is the governing body of Black Sand, is putting out to kind of like reignite the economy of the city. So
Nice.
similarly to the Black Sand tournament, what they're trying to do is they're trying to host events to bring visitors, to bring new citizens, to bring art, to bring artists back to the city. And therefore, that's why they're kind of like trying to push these new events to eventually trying to put Black Sand back on the map.
I love it so much. And then actually, I have one more question. Who won the last pony race?
Excel won. Hell Pony was the first ever pony racing champion. So congrats. I don't know if he's listening in, but
I
great
love it.
race.
Yeah, the name of the pony was Hell Pony, right?
Yeah, correct.
That's so good. Amazing. Okay, yeah. So tell us how to play the Black Sands pony racing.
Great. So as you mentioned, we had the first race a couple of weeks ago that ended last week, and now we're starting a championship. So it will be 7 races that will actually start tomorrow. And the game is designed to be a community game that could be played extremely passively or very actively, depending on how you want to go about it. And I say that because on one side, you could just enter your pony and then hope for the best. But on the other side, the mechanics of the game allow you to boost your pony during each race by feeding them treats, and even try to level them up as they run more races and accumulate experience points. So it really depends on how you want to play. But to focus on the mechanics of each race is a combination of 3 factors, let's say. And each of these factors allow you to gain point for your ponies. The first one is through a Twitter poll. So each race will have a short 1-day Twitter poll where each pony will be able to collect votes and score points accordingly. The second way to score points will be through feeding treats to your pony. So basically, each pony holder will be allowed to use up to 3 treats, and each treat will provide you with some rolls. So with some dice that you can roll in Discord to gain points. And the last way to score points is by what I call special events. So each race will come with something unique that will give participants a way to score additional points, a way to roll additional dice. And the first week, for example, will be, and each week, basically, each special event will be hosted by a creature in the universe. And the first week, starting tomorrow, will be hosted by a trickster. So it will actually be called the trickster game. And each player will be able to play with trickster to maybe win or lose points.
Amazing. I love it so much. Bear, Dota, do you guys think you might ever enter a pony into the race?
Heck yes.
Yeah, I need to take you down.
How much time do I have to enter?
We start tomorrow with the first race. So if you want to start accumulate points for the championship, you have to hurry up. We have 68 ponies playing so far. So we have some open spots. So whoever wants to join, let me know. Tomorrow we start with the first one.
And how do you enter?
There is a Twitter thread posted on my account or on the Black Sand account. You can just drop your pony ID there, or you can just DM me your pony ID.
Okay, amazing.
Fantastic, Legatus. Anything else?
That's it. I mean, as I mentioned, the game could be played more actively. So there is also a way to level up your ponies throughout the races. And so I'm looking forward to see what abilities each of the ponies eventually get.
Yep. Yep. I've got a lot of treats that I'm going to feed my pony. I know that. All right, Legatus. Well, thank you so much, man. I love what you built, and I can't wait to see how the next race rolls out. And maybe someday we'll figure out where the Black Sands actually are on the map.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bear, you want to talk about highlights?
Say that again. You cut out.
Do you want to talk about some Miami highlights?
Gosh, where do we start? No, I'm kidding. Well, I feel like you have blossomed as a black goat since you've been here. Elf has been a very public figure. He had a fantastic panel with a group of really interesting people at Decentral on, I think that was Monday. Or no, it was on Tuesday, where you talked about the future of NFTs or the current state of NFTs.
And I shilled the cult.
Shilled the cult hard. There was someone from Chainlink Labs who was really interesting, who talked about dynamic NFTs. And there was this guy named Jeff who was from Nifty, who I thought was really interesting. He's like partnering with like Warner Brothers and all these studios and sort of helping onboard them to, sort of more natively enter the space. And then of course there was you with the Forgotten Runes. And so it was really nice to have like, it wasn't just all like PFP founders up there. It was sort of all these different sort of facets of the space represented. And so I thought that was really great. And afterwards, a bunch of people came up to us, and it was really cool to see that. It was a great response, and it's just nice to sort of be out there, preaching what we're doing. And then last night we went, me, Kaz, and Alf went to a NFT Now event, which was hosting the opening night for Christie's auction. And I think I posted on my personal account. But Elf has a piece, if not everybody knows, Elf has a piece in a Christie's auction. It's really, really cool piece. I think Elf, I mean, I shouldn't describe it, you should, but it's Forgotten Runes adjacent, but it's sort of more in like almost the original style that you used to do as the independent artist, right?
Yeah, it's the style I was playing with before I started Forgotten Runes. But yeah, it's about my wizard, the Black Goat. I call it my first piece of cult content, actually. And what was really fun was like Christie's asked me for an artist bio. Artist bios are always really hard to write, and what really struck me this time I had to write one was most of my work nowadays is with the cult, and I'm thinking like, how do I work this into my bio? And I realized like I guess like being a cult leader, I know that sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but like being a cult leader is like part of my artistic practice. It's like a legitimate part of the bio. And so I put it in there. And the black goat is like sort of like a symbol of a type of cult leader we've seen throughout history. And so that's just sort of what the piece was about. But yeah, that event was really fun. I just want to say like one big impression that I've gotten from this whole event. Well, okay, so this is the second big crypto event that I've been to. The first was the NFT NYC. And I just the general impression that I get from meeting all these people is the same in both of these places, which is everyone here has legitimate reasons for being here, and they are trying to build something honest and something useful, sincere, something that can actually help and make all of our lives better. And I contrast this against the general public, which unfortunately, given everything that's transpired over the last few months, maybe has a very negative impression of crypto and the people in it. And I'm worried that like the words crypto and scam are synonymous. they might think that like everyone in crypto is just a scammer, but that is not what I see at these events. I meet people, I see what they're building, and I do not see scammers. I don't get that vibe at all. I just see good people trying to make good things. And I see people having fun and people who are excited about the possibilities of this technology. Everybody's been great. There's only one person I met that's trying to cause trouble, and that's Bear Snake,
Oh
aka Michelangelo,
Lord.
the party dude, trying to make me stay up till 4 a.m. every night.
Listen, there's a lot of good art that we need to see. We're here. We're here for work. It's good to meet people. This is what I do. This is like you're getting like a up close personal look at like what I do. This is like what I do. I like connect with people. I talk with
I
people.
I saw I saw Elf cancel at least 3 Ubers last night after because Bear
Because
was like,
Bear
no,
Snake
no,
would
no.
say, call an Uber. And then the Uber would almost get here, and Bear Snake would say, cancel it. Let's go somewhere else.
It was pretty great. Well, I'm a very excitable person. And speaking of, let's sort of go off what you were saying, Alf, is like, yeah, there's this whole like juxtaposition of like the larger market, and and what's going on here and the energy, and so not to get philosophical, but like I have these talks with my son sometimes, and we like talk about like what's going on in the world, and we try to keep it positive. And he's like, why doesn't someone, he said to me like a couple months ago, he's like there's all these issues, like why don't like people just pick one problem every year and then solve it? And I was like, oh man, that's a really good idea. He's
Yeah,
like, in
that's
10
a good
years
idea.
he was like, in 10 years you'd solve like 10 really big problems. And the reason I bring it up is because like we're down here, and there is this like there's a finite number of people in this space, but I'll tell you the level of intelligence and passion, and just general ability, to sort of make this exist and evolve and become the thing that we know it's going to be is just, it's honestly amazing. And so I thought of that little anecdote with my son, because like I feel like that's what's happening, right? There's some core issues, that quite frankly don't even necessarily have to do directly with what a lot of these projects are doing. It's just the general sort of weather and some bad actors ruining it for everybody. But I just have so much confidence in where things are headed. I think the weird part is like no one really knows what the new meta is going to be. I don't think it's ever going to look the way it did last year or the year before. And so we're just in this sort of in between phase where people are trying things or experimenting. I'm having a lot of conversations about like other project founders like coming to us and wanting to do interesting experimental things. And so out of all of this, I think we're going to create the next meta. It's not like we're just going to sit here and wait for it. Like we are going to help create it together. Anyway, I'm yapping, but like it's a very positive, reinforcing thing, and that's why I cancel your Ubers constantly.
Yeah, I want to just tell a little more specifics about the party
Oh
last night if
Lord.
anyone's interested.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we, my day really kicked into gear yesterday with Dr. Slurp's mycelium event, which was really cool. He invited me to speak on a panel, and there were some wizards there. I saw Tanya, who I just saw wave. Tanya was there with her husband. I saw JP16. I saw PVA.eth. I saw Panico. Yep, and of course Dr. Slurp and Cookie Tree. And yeah, there was great drinks, great food, great music, really fun event. There was even some chickens running around in the bar. I'm not kidding. It was great. Um, and then I had to leave that a little bit early because I had to go to the gateway party where the Christie's auction was. And so I met Bear and Cosmo at like a bar down the street from the event, and we walk to the event, and we, of course, realize that Bear and Cosmo are not on the guest list. And the door guys were very
Wait, can I
rigid.
pause you? Can I
Yep,
pause you real
yep,
fast to give
yep.
myself props? Okay, so we're in the bar. Elf gets there. Me and Kaz are having a great time. Elf sort of busts it up and ruins it. And then we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go. And there's a dartboard. There's a dartboard in the corner. And I was staring at it all night. Well, all night for like 2 hours. And we're like leaving. And I go to the bathroom. And as I come out, I see people playing darts. And this is the dumbest story ever. I'm so sorry. And I literally barge into their game. And I said, listen, I really just want to throw one dart. Can I throw one dart? And I take the dart. They were very nice. They handed me a dart. I threw the dart, and I hit a bullseye. And everybody erupts. Everybody erupts, and I literally just walk away. That's it. Mic drop. Okay,
Yeah,
go
that
on.
was a good interjection, Bear. You're right.
Yeah,
For
That's
the
okay.
record, I didn't see this happening. Bear just said this happened.
Yeah. It's
I
really a
see.
metaphor for our whole project, honestly.
it really is.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so after Bear's miraculous bullseye, we go to the Christie's party, and Bear's high suddenly comes down because he's not on the guest list, nor is Cosmo. And so now it is up to not Bear, but Elf to open this door. And everybody's a little dubious as to whether he can do it. So I go in, and first of all, this place is very fancy. It almost looks like an Art Deco bank.
It was. It was an old bank. It was an old
Yeah,
bank.
yeah. The floors were very shiny marble. The ceilings were very high. There was like a huge vault door. The bartenders were behind these gilded frames that look like bank teller windows. And so, yeah, I guess it was an old bank. And everybody was dressed rather formally. It was a really high-end art party, and I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to get Bear and Cosmo in here.
Yeah, meanwhile, me and Kaz are just standing outside for like a good 10 minutes. And I'm like, there's no way Elf is gonna get us into this thing. There's zero chance. And like half of me thinks like you just ditched us and we're like me and Kaz are
I,
gonna go back to the bar, are gonna throw
Yeah, I
another
thought he just
bullseye.
left us out there.
hey, I was thinking about ditching as well, but after about 20 minutes, let's just say, I'm walking around, I'm smiling at the right people, I'm exuding a particular charm. I'm just sort of,
Godlike
displaying
charisma.
a godlike charisma. And then I come outside to you guys, and what do I say?
No. You don't even say anything. You go out, you come out with your hands raised, both hands up in the air, with two wristbands dangling beautifully from each fingers. They almost had like a glow
They
shine to
really
them.
did.
And then me and Kaz erupted because I got really happy. Right, we got I couldn't believe he did it. Like Elf actually did it. He opened a door. I'm realizing I have no place in the cult anymore because that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, so it was like a very like happy and sad moment for me. So this is my last day. It was really great knowing you guys. Good luck.
Bear, your calling is darts. I think.
Supposedly.
But yeah, and so that party was cool. We stay there for a few hours. Great music, great art.
Well, don't skip over it. Don't skip over it. So we like walk through. It's a beautiful space, and we find Elf's piece. It's awesome, and like it just dawns on me that we're in this gallery opening, and like Elf's piece is up amongst the biggest artists, digital artists in the space, and I was just like so like happy. And I know this sounds like dad mode, but I was like so proud to like have our Elf up there and just represent it. So it was really cool to see that Elf.
Thanks,
Elf,
dude.
looking at the piece, we've got, you've got bats from the collection, the jelly donut and the rose are from the collection. You've got the of the black goat, of course, and then in the background to the left, is that a cucumber dog? Is that...
I am pretty certain I would never put a cucumber dog in any of my work. No, it's not I'm not sure what you're looking at, but I can certainly say no, it's not a cucumber dog. But no, that party was great. And then we Bear says it's time to go to another party, and Cosmo
Because
and I
I'm in charge. Because I'm in charge.
yeah, exactly. And Cosmo and I look at our watch, and it's only 10:30. We've got all night. And not only is it just another party, but it is a legendary Tim Smith party, aka Bit Vargan. The
Did you
one.
just dox? Did you just dox Bit Market?
Oh, everybody knows who Bit Vargan is.
Okay.
So we take an Uber to a party in Wynwood, and it is a standard Bit Vargan party, and that means capital FUN, fun. One of the highlights there was a lot of excellent digital art on the walls. There was literally a naked girl dancing. And then there was this amazing DJ called DOSS, that started just an excellent set that literally cast a spell on the entire audience to start dancing.
And Kaz, what was Elf doing during the set?
That was the last time we saw Elf because I went to the front and didn't come back until the DJ was done playing.
You guys were dancing too, though.
I was not dancing.
Okay, Cosmo was.
That was.
Wait, Bear, what were you doing the whole time then?
I was in the back eating tacos.
That's true.
I hope people are enjoying the story. I feel like we're just rambling about like our escapades.
I know
in
this is probably the most boring Wizard Wednesday, but
I'll
we're almost done.
Go ahead and butt in and say that I needed this. I needed a play-by-play of everything that happened so that I can feel like I was there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is perfect.
Okay, thanks,
good.
I mean, let me put it this way. So we're almost done. At least that's what I thought. 2:30 rolls around, and again, Bear tells me to call an Uber. I call it. The guy almost gets here, and I'm like, okay, guys, let's go. And Bear says, no, cancel it. We're going to another Tim Smith party.
You were like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, but you told me to call it. I go, yeah, I changed my mind. We gotta do this.
So we walked to this next one, I think.
No, we took a car.
Okay, yeah, we took a car. I think it was in some art district, and the vibe of this next party was like definitely a 2:30 in the morning type vibe. Much darker. The music was a little more industrial. Everybody was a little more effed up. And we actually never got in because Tim Smith, if you're listening, I actually don't know who to blame, you or Bear.
It's not me. He told us to come to a party and couldn't get us in.
This is the second time Bear failed to get us in a party tonight.
Yeah, it was not my finest. It was not my finest night. I'll admit it. But I will say this, and I'm so sorry this is like going on maybe for too long. But I get home eventually, and my buddy texts me who like lives in Miami. He goes, oh, he's like, I just got home, but I went to this great party. I called you, and I was like, oh, I missed the call, and he sent me pictures. And it was the party that we couldn't get into. And he's like, I threw the party. It was my party.
Damn it.
And so, it was Anthony who we had dinner with on Sunday
Oh my
night.
God, Bear.
So the whole time we could have just walked right in, and I missed this call while we were standing out
there. You had one job.
I know. Damn it.
No, it's all right. I'll wrap this up. But basically, after that, it literally started raining. I'm not kidding. It started raining. We're outside, and Bear is still. Oh, finally, Tim Smith comes out, and he is jolly AF for whatever reason. I've never seen Tim Smith so jolly. He's dancing, he's smiling, and they're like, "Let's go get a drink." And so we wander all around to like literally 10 different bars. And we finally find one, and it was this terrible bar. Didn't they literally like pour like 2 different kinds of beer into a pitcher and say, it's $50 for this, that you guys didn't even drink it?
Yeah, it was. I don't even drink beer. It was so gross. Cosmo, it was so gross, wasn't it?
I drink beer and it was gross.
So anyway, after all that, I have a question for Dota. How much FOMO do you feel from hearing that story?
0.
Yeah, that was gonna be my answer.
I sat at home with Mrs. Dota. We ate pumpkin pie and watched Game of Thrones. Best night of my life.
Jesus, are you kidding me? That's God. You're so wholesome.
That's great, Dota. That
That's
is
great.
the opposite of our night. Anyway, Cosmo, I didn't really let you speak much. Did you have any highlights from the night?
And no, I mean you all you covered everything really. It was just fun getting to meet some people and seeing the energy there, right? How everyone's so excited about the space. It like really with everything going on, I think it's easy for us to like kind of, feel bad about the space in a lot of ways. Like if you just listen to crypto Twitter all day and then you like come out and like, I was just in Mexico City too for another um NFT event and like I don't know, I feel like if you're out at these events you kind of feel the energy and like how many people are actually interested in legitimately building in this space and creating things and everyone's like so positive. So it's like really, really telling to me.
And Kaj, I
Yeah.
really appreciated. Like, I know that you're quite the collector of like one of one and Gen Art, and so for me, it was like you really got to like show me different artists that you collect or that you know, and so that was really fun to sort of like understand that side of things more. So that was cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it was fun. Like the party that we went to with Tim Smith, that big like it was like a very Miami party, right? Like it was like outside and there were like palm trees everywhere and the lighting was cool and like they had a lot of gen art there and a lot of cool artists on the walls and being displayed. So it was cool. The DJ also did their own art, right?
Yeah, that DJ was amazing. She did her own art on the video screen behind her, and then her music just it was spellbinding. It was so good.
Yeah, check her out. DOS. It's DOSS. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Yep,
Supposedly, Bit Vargas says she's the next big thing. So
I
let's
believe
help
it.
her out. Yeah.
I believe it. Um. All right. Well, I wanted to take a minute to shout out some cult content that I've been seeing, and I think this is going to be a first. But my absolute favorite piece of cult content this week came from none other than our very own Dota.
Woo!
Did you guys see that Jim Henson AI generated imp story on Dota's timeline? Oh my God. Bear,
It
did you see that?
blew it blew my mind, and I realized that I may not be able to open doors, but we don't need you either. This is the Dota show now.
Yeah.
Everyone's fired except for me.
Yeah.
No, Dota. I know I kid, but like, yeah, I agree. It was. I mean, honestly, it's a little scary. It's a little
Yeah.
scary that someone can do that so fast. But it was also really cool to see you stretch your legs and like tell an arc there. And yeah, it was incredible. I
Yeah,
I, I
I'd
concur.
I'd love to talk about it for a bit. One of the things I think, okay, so of course, like Mid Journey and these language models and diffusion models are getting just so good at an incredible pace. And I think that like if you haven't, these were all done with Mid Journey 4, and if you haven't tried it yet, you totally should. And one of the things that feels like when you're using it is less around like creating, right? Like I don't look at that thread and feel like I created this. It feels like you're like crate digging. Like I discovered this. Like I found this in our like collective conscious. Like these models, what they're doing, right, is they're of course training on the corpus of like human art, and then you're kind of like discovering the unthunk thoughts of our like collective consciousness. And I love it so much. I mean, I'm gonna post as much of these as I kind of can. um and it's really like incredible how you're able to get this like continuous thought, and get like a continue like continuity in the style. And so yeah, so this thread that I did, I basically sat down and like the first thing that I did is I found like kind of the style. That's the first step with using these models, is you have to like find the right keywords for what you're looking for. And it's actually a lot like Google. Like, I don't know if you remember kind of the process that you've had to like learn Google and to be able to find what you want and to be able to be like very specific and articulate like what you're looking for and disambiguate. And using these models is quite a lot like that, where you type something, you get a result, it's not quite there, and you're like, oh no, I see how you would interpret that, computer. And then you're like, no, I don't want like a bucket of slime, I want a cauldron. And so then you kind of search and find your style, and you find a style that they can represent. And then from there, it was around like trying to kind of well, create a narrative that I like wanted to tell. And so of course this narrative was, borrowed completely from the Nightmare Imp story. And yeah, I think another thing that I kind of learned to be able to use, well, something can be really helpful is if you look up like cinematic shots, right? So a lot of cinematic shots, of course, it's a really developed industry, and you can kind of find different perspectives, right? Do I want like an establishing shot? Am I looking for like, two ups facing people facing each other? There's name keywords that you should know because they'll show up in kind of the artwork. And so yeah, basically this thread was putting that all together. And I just love it. Like I like that thread of, so we did a thread today of this kind of like based on Jim Henson's Dark Crystal with the Nightmare Imp, and then a thread yesterday that was like Studio Ghibli style. And I just love exploring these like ideas of what could have been. And it really strikes me too that when I was a kid, we had to go to the like grocery store or whatever and rent a physical VHS tape if we wanted to watch any movie. And I remember talking at the time saying, someone telling us as when we were kids, like, you'll be able to go to your television and pick any movie you want and just play it right away. And that felt like so mysterious and like science fiction, that you would be able to like hit a button and watch whatever movie you want. And playing with these models, you actually realize that like within our lifetime, you're going to be able to go and watch whatever movie you want, even if that movie hasn't been invented yet. You're going to be able to go here and say like, oh, I want to watch, Home Alone, but like Kevin McAllister is an Ewok or something, and like do this like style transfer, or like, like you're
Yeah.
going to be able to watch this movie. You'll be able to watch The Nightmare Imp by Jim Henson in our lifetime, and it feels, well, so strange and magical, and well, yeah, it's quite scary. At the same time, it's still very hard to control. It's really based on the style of artists that have created things from nothing. And so you still need artists to create new things, right? The AI is only going to interpret. And I would love to see more, by way of like, in these models you can trace back the origin of like every sort of like pixel that's rendered to its like training set. And you would love to see a model where you could actually pay a royalty back to the creators who created the art that you were inspired by. But I mean, I think if we can't even figure out royalties for NFTs, that's a long way off, right? There's probably legal problems, I'm sure. But all that to say, I don't think that artists are going away. But I'm just thrilled with what these tools are making possible.
Yeah, people mention like just this experiment alone, like people use the word scary, and I can see the scariness in it. But one thing that has stuck out to me is this your prompts were obviously using Jim Henson's style as the influence, and so it did not erase the original artist, Jim
Right.
Henson. In fact, it only like got people more interested in this style and attributing his name to it. Now, I do want to add as an aside, just to be accurate, that this is actually Jim Henson's studio, and the actual artist who's responsible for that style is named Brian Froud.
Mm.
But like that, whatever. Real point being is, like, yeah, it sort of returned the credit to Jim Henson. But then what else is great is, like, I loved the story you wrote, Dota.
Oh yeah.
I loved just like literally every little panel and just the ideas that you put into it. And just the whole thing was great. I
Oh,
just
some of the details in there, you'll notice I put in like a cool cat, like a little blue cat creature. Um, the treasure chest with the imp on the face, it just came out
So
so
good.
beautifully. The Gigas Chad, I
Oh,
laughed
I
out
love the
loud when
Gigas
that came
chat.
out.
Giga's chat is
So
amazing. Giga's chat is amazing.
I was cracking up when that popped out, and of course the little elf, the elf J troll doll was just adorable.
So
So
cute.
yeah, I mean, yes, I put together a story based on your story and our story with the Nightmare Imp. But I really feel like these images were just sort of discovered, and I'm really excited to see what else we can discover.
Matto, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's still Dota was spot on because I was playing with AI maybe a month and a half ago, and it's he was spot on how he was describing it. It feels more like you're discovering something that hasn't really been thought of, and I mean, it makes sense. It's you're not gonna jump into the mind of any artist that you're trying to get any of those inspirations from, and the AI isn't gonna map out exactly what their artistic process is, right? It only has end results of what they have. But in the end, the artistic process, creating, is something that Dota's unique. How he would build that story is, even if it was taken within the vein of using it as inspiration, it's still more Dota's process along with that. So just like any other Jim Henson creation, like you mentioned before, that there was other artists that were involved with it. It's almost as if it's a parallel universe in which Dota was one artist that was involved, and whatever input Henson would potentially have on it, is weighed differently than if it was actually going on right now, and Dota got a deal with him and did this, So in a sense, it's an unexplored world that we would never have access to before, and it's interesting to be able to utilize that tool in order to bring that world to life and actually imagine that world, because it couldn't happen otherwise.
Yep. Yeah, it's it's kind of like a DJ, just sampling music and remixing bits and pieces, and that's just the way art is. For better or for worse, often for better though. I mean, this result today just sort of speaks to that. It was just so charming and so beautiful. I loved it. And just the other thing, Dota, you did today, speaking of Tim and speaking of AI generated art, this bit actually, Dota, tell us about the teaches typing thing.
Oh well, I don't know why. Sometimes I make up little jokes in my head that crack me up, and so Bitvargan, of course, notoriously just pounds on the keyboard, and I thought it would be funny to have Bitvargan teaches typing, and so yeah, I just threw that into
Dude,
It's great.
brilliant.
Midjourney. Yeah, because I used to play Maybe Speak and teaches typing. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's brilliant.
I love the box that you made for it, and then the in-game picture looks
Yeah,
exactly like how I would imagine it. Honestly,
yeah,
it would
exactly.
be a goat that's yelling at you as you're typing on the keyboard.
Yeah, it's what's the worst possible typing teacher? There you go.
So good, so good.
You don't even know if what you typed is right or correct. It yells at you regardless.
So good. Sorry, I still got a little bit of cough. Another thing I wanted to call out was I've been noticing this Twitter account, not of a wizard, but of a warrior, of a raging warrior, in fact, of a raging warrior who attacks wizard. His name is Belial, attacker of wizards. And it's just such an interesting character. I've been following him for a while. He tweets in all caps. And I just read his book of lore entry today. He's a disgraced, reanimated Templar knight who was tortured in the most heinous of medieval ways, and his face fell off, so he's just got a skull. And now he just rages about wizards on Twitter all day. And so, Belial, I know you may have felt slighted because wizards are elite, but I wanted to give you your proper acknowledgement and say, I see you, Belial. So, well done. And then I wanted to shout out Sam, Wise Sam. Wise Sam has been prolific as ever. He's been making tons of little wizard beans, which I think is an Azuki wizard mashup. And then he recently did this really beautifully animated piece of Bretty's Goblin. And not only does it look good, but there's a fun joke in there. The goblin is not fishing for fish; he's fishing for worms, and he's just eating the worms that he catches. So that's super
That's fun.
cute. And then Malevolent and Kel have been posting images from the happiest place on earth, Disney World. I think it's Disney World down in Miami, Florida. And they're representing the Wizards, representing the cult, with some of the awesome merch we handed out last summer. So that's always good to see. I also wanted to shout out Slim's wife for joining the Warriors Guild. And I loved her debut tweet. She says, "I'm so confused. I guess I'm a warrior."
I
And
don't know
apparently
what.
there's a race between her and Slim to see who can get more followers.
And yeah, I
So
don't
be
know
sure to
why.
follow Slim's wife.
I immediately went to Team Slim Wife.
She does have a really nice warrior. I like that one.
Sorry, Slim.
Yeah. And then another thing that's been going around is the Meeple's treasure trove. I've seen a lot of people get those in the mail. There's some good stuff in there. I could be wrong, but Sharon posted an image of a little Kermit doll wearing these socks. And I'm assuming they came from the treasure
Yeah,
trove box.
the Secret Tower socks. Yeah,
Yeah, those are amazing.
yeah.
So good, so good.
I think we should have got now. I have to ask now, Gene, but I think we might have gotten our packages at the Bear Cave, so we will
Oh,
distribute
good.
them accordingly.
Oh, nice, nice. But yeah, that's all I saw this week. Oh, actually, there were a few cult questions. Yeah, let me get to those real quick. Emma asked, "OMG, are you having fun?" I would say yes.
Yeah.
She says, "How's the auction?" It is ongoing. I think it goes for a few days. The link to it is on my Elf J Troll Twitter. And then she said, "What's my favorite event so far?" I gotta say, I really love Slurp's Mycelium event, and then Tim Smith's party was just great. Do you miss your own bed yet? Yeah, definitely. I get no sleep. And have you hugged Bear Snake? Bear Snake, have I even hugged you this week?
Yeah, that was the first thing we did when we saw it. We saw each other. We hugged. That's what we do.
Okay.
It's the first thing I did when I felt
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right. We hugged. I'm gonna hug you when I see you tonight.
Okay, good. Yeah, Emma, we've hugged several times. I hugged Cosmo too. In fact, I hug every cult member I see.
It's kind of true. It's actually kind of true.
Yeah. And then Cheddar Bob says, "What and how much did you drink before you pronounced yourself dead?" Bear, how many drinks did you force me to drink that one night that you killed me?
Oh gosh. Well, listen. You are your own elf. You make your own choices. I will not take responsibility for forcing you to do anything. But probably about 10.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. And then Lord Punk is asking, "Are you going to have a Cuban sandwich?" I turn this question to Bear. Bear, are you going to get me a Cuban sandwich?
Oh, I'm feeding you now. I'm feeding you now. Okay. Yeah, I'll get you a Cuban sandwich. You want to share one? We can hug while we eat it.
Okay, sweet. I have not had one yet, though.
You know what I do want to
Me,
do is I want to swim in the ocean while we're here. Is that going to be
I
possible?
know, I know. We haven't even gone to the beach. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Maybe
Okay.
tonight at 3 in the morning.
Done. Call an Uber.
Hell yeah. Meeple Dad, what's up?
Hey gang, how's it going? Just real quick shout out, Baron and Sammy are obviously the masterminds behind the socks, in case anyone had doubts. Only Baron and Sammy's merch-tastic brains could cook up something that genius. So every treasure trove comes with Baron and Sammy approved merch.
Baron and Sammy, I should have known.
Yeah, I can't wait
You
to slip
should have
them
known.
on.
They're gonna be great. Yeah, and for those awaiting the arrival of their kits, reach out if there's any issues. If they're delayed beyond reason, let me know. And if you're seeing all these boxes get opened and you need one, you don't have one, reach out via DM. All of my Web3 native order form systems have all fallen by the wayside, and we're just going back to DMs and PayPal invoices because the tech's just not quite there yet. But we're trying. Tried to keep it Web3 native.
We know how it is, Meeple. It's a developing technology.
Yeah, that's right. And big shout out to Tanya. I wanted to share. I just shared earlier today this super beautiful Christmas card she did up for the team. That was just such a treat to include those in there. So you can send some wizard Christmas cards from your treasure trove. It's a ton of fun.
Love it. All right. Well, it's about that time. Dota, Bear, Matto, Kaz, Tad, anything else?
I'm good.
Welcome to Miami.
All right. Well, this has been Wizard Wednesday live from Miami. This has been Elf, Dota, Matatsuki, Bear Snake, Cosmo, Tad Major, Meeple Dad, Legatus, Mr. Brown, channeling out.